Hi there, how are you doing? So, here's a thing. I was having a conversation recently about what do you do if you've got a reactive dog. Say you've got a dog who reacts a bit by barking at other dogs, and sometimes you're not sure what to do. Do you distract them with food when you see another dog so they don't do the barking? Or do you let them see the other dog so that you can start teaching them the skills of being calmer around other dogs? What is it? What do you do? And my answer, and I was asked this, and my answer was, it depends on the dogs, it depends on the situation. There really isn't a hard and fast rule for what you do if you've got a dog who reacts to other dogs. Sometimes distracting them with food is absolutely the right thing to do. And other times you might want to let them see what's going on. It really does depend. So I'll talk a little bit. On New Year's Day, I took both of my dogs for a nice walk to the beach. We met some lovely friends of ours. The dogs all had a whale of a time together. And the beach was quite busy. It was New Year's Day and it was a nice day, and it was busy at the car park and it was busy on the way across to the sand. And after that, everybody seems to disperse and the beach itself was very quiet. But on our way over, I saw a couple behind me. They had a beautiful Alaskan Malamute who, in spite of what everybody says, this one was off lead and wasn't running off. The dog was staying quite close to them. And they looked completely and utterly relaxed about it. But what I noticed, I looked at the dog and the dog spotted Cullen and Roxy and quite clearly wanted to say hello. And Roxy, while Roxy does really like other dogs, she finds it extremely difficult to be calm around dogs who are big and fluffy, particularly if they have prick ears and a curly tail like Alaskan Malamutes. And her discomfort around them, she's always been, ever since I've known her, she's been quite excited about them. And her excitement now has a bit of anxiety as well. She had a really unfortunate incident with a playful German Shepherd who was a big, huge, hairy, fluffy German Shepherd, and accidentally he managed to hit her on the side of the face in a way that shattered one of her canine teeth. It was the oddest injury ever. But anyway, it was very, very painful for Roxy, and the aftermath of it was very painful. She was in surgery for 3 hours to get the tooth removed. So, big fluffy dogs that I don't know, we avoid, particularly if they are off lead and look like they want to come over. And partly as well, I didn't know the dog. I didn't know what he or she would do if they were confronted by a small, angry brown dog barking in their face, which is exactly what would have happened if Roxy had seen the dog. So in that circumstance, absolutely, I got a bunch of treats. I took Cullen's lead off. Cullen happens to really like Huskies and Malamutes. He has had some lovely friends, and years ago when he was a lot younger, he was friends with this absolutely amazing big male Malamute who was just outstanding. That dog reminded me of Kalgakis so much. Cullen loved him. So for Cullen, an Alaskan Malamute who wants to say hello isn't a massive deal. Cullen is extremely sensible around other dogs. He's met hundreds and hundreds of dogs in his life, and I could trust him to be sensible. So I took his lead off and Roxy and I left. And the Malamute and Cullen shared a sniff in a bush together. They kind of stood there sniffing away together while I fed Roxy treat after treat after treat so that she did not look round and see this dog, because I just didn't want her to even know it was there. And after Cullen and the dog had had a sniff and I'd been able to check out what direction the owners of the dog were going in so that I could go the other way, Cullen just came with me then, and the dog went off with his or her owners, and everything was absolutely fine. So that was a circumstance where, with my dog, who can be a little bit barky and reactive sometimes, she's mostly barky because she wants to make friends. But because she can be a wee bit overexcited and lively, that was an instance where I decided that the best thing to do was to just distract her in the hope that she did not see the dog, because I was 100% sure that if she'd seen that dog, she would have really started barking, and I wasn't sure how that would end up. So that was one instance. But later on the same walk, so the beach we went to's got a really nice crepe shack in the picnic area beside the car park, which is just fantastic. And we stopped off there to have a coffee at the end of the walk with some of the dogs, including Roxy. So like loads of people stop there and with their dogs and have coffee and crepes, or they bring a packed lunch. It's really quite nice. And when we did that, I really encouraged Roxy to look at the dogs that were around and to be able to sit and calmly just take it all in. There were dogs walking by in the distance. A great big Labradoodle ran very close to us, right by us, chasing after their owner. And I encouraged Roxy to look at all of that and take it all in. I wasn't as worried because none of the dogs there were dogs that I would expect her to react very strongly to. There was the possibility that she might bark a bit, but I wasn't massively concerned about any of the dogs that were there. So she could quite calmly sit and watch what was going on. Some of the dogs were nearby and some of the dogs were far away. And that all worked well. So in that instance, I was quite happy for her to sit and look. And the other thing is, the dogs that people take to the picnic benches and sit around with, they either have them on a lead, or if they're off lead, they're typically really well behaved, or at least very friendly, at least not likely to get into any kind of an argument. I have seen dogs be chased away by other dogs when they've run over to say hi, but they've typically just gone away again. It's not been a massive big deal, which is kind of what I was looking for with Roxy. So they're in the space of the same walk, I made different decisions. And if when we'd been sitting having our coffee, somebody turned up with a pair of huskies, then I would have distracted Roxy. I would have distracted her a lot until I could get into a position where I felt as though she could perhaps look and not be completely overwhelmed. Or maybe I would wait until they'd sat down with their coffee. Still, huskies are easier for Roxy to cope with than moving ones. So I would maybe have waited till they got their coffee, sat down, and then let her notice that the dog was there. Anyway, just a few little thoughts about what do you do, distract or let them look, and like the sorts of things that would help me make a decision. Not that I always get it right. If only I don't know anybody that always gets it right. There's, the occasions get rarer and rarer as you get more and more experienced, but still there are times when things take me by surprise, and I don't have any dog trainer friends who aren't sometimes taken by surprise. So I am not alone. Dogs are living beings, and they are like people. They have good days and bad days, so it's not always possible to predict 100% how things are going to go on any given day. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.